Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how I do it on the pretest. I'm gonna go back and put the amount of questions on here. To be 86 questions. Alright. So I'm gonna read this. I'll read the questions and say the answers out loud. And I'll tell you the results in the end what I made. Okay? The minuet is originally triple dance meter that's often added to the end of the Baroque dance suite. In the classical period, it's usually invariably written in binary form and coupled with a matching binary form called a trio. So in my opinion, it's true. Which part of the sequence Dies Irae did Mozart use in the Requiem Mass? So the Requiem Mass has to do with irregular. No, wait, no, which part? Which part is the text? When was the beginning of the French Revolution, a watershed event that led to the Napoleonic Wars and the political reorganization of Europe in the Congress of Vienna? So the Congress of Vienna so the French Revolution happens to be in 1789, when it happens to be the watershed that led to the Napoleonic Wars. It has to be the political reorganization of Europe by the Congress of Vienna, and it's that one. What is the musical form in the second movement of Beethoven's symphony? The musical form is a regular ternary. It's in ternary form, so it's irregular, but we can say that. Which statement best describes Haydn's symphony in E flat major? Okay, Haydn's symphony number 9 has to be the fact that it has to be everything. Mozart wrote the first entire Bastien and Bastien. Okay, so the first part of that one, it has to be opera singspell, if I remember it right. Is the 18th and 19th century opera that okay? This is gonna be 18. So Count of Venus, 18th century Italian opera. It's an interest aria. In German, that is slow to moderate tempo. Okay, so the two sonatas of Beethoven's Opus 27 is known as the Moonlight Sonata. It has been a fantasia. Take it or leave it. Put it that way. This individual was one of Beethoven's influential supporters in Bonn. So Bonn and the influential supporters of Beethoven came around in Bonn have referred to them often. The Oxford Symphony is a set of symphonies known as. Okay, no, we did not talk about Oxford as much, and I know that ain't true, because all of that has to be paired symphonies. I'm gonna say false. So, how many Beethoven's conversation books do exist? The fact is, okay, it can't be around 40, because what it means about the conversation books that Beethoven spent through in his lifetime, Beethoven was hearing at first until when he got to the latter part of his life, that he became really deaf, where he can hear certain frequencies. And also the fact that it came to the point where when he performed, that somebody had to turn him around to face the audience because he couldn't hear. So the conversation book was a way of communicating, so people could write down what they want to say. So the fact is that Beethoven had 140 of them. Lily means song play. A German opera appearing in the 18th and 19th century and focused common spoken play with musical. Okay. Song play is known the fact is singspell. Notebooks that are used by Beethoven with a hearing impairment is conversation books. Nearly 40 of these books survive today. I'm gonna say really false because we just answered 140. A blank is a passage of musical work between other passages that have a more central thematic importance as a mono form. And a fugue is a section of modulation and free counterpoint that is based on motives and derives from the subject. So it means that if it's deriving from the diagonal subject, it has to be the fact that it is episode. I know it's going to be episode. Which section of Mozart's Requiem Mass vividly contrasts the heavenly sounds of the last and hellish cry of pain. Confucius is the word. The meeting called by Empress Francis I, King of Austria, after Napoleon Bonaparte advocated and fled France, invited all the leaders to Europe to meet and withdraw the boundaries of their continent and reestablish the principle of legitimate rule called the Congress of Vienna. Okay, so the Congress of Vienna has to happen in that part where we had the advocation of Bonaparte, and also the fact it has to be the truth. Beethoven modeled his business sonatas in Stylo Antico, the Masters of the Palestrina. So the Masters of the Palestrina has nothing to do with that counterpart, and it's false. During the classical period, the minuet was invariably written in form. Okay, so it has to be written in, on top of my head now, I'm saying rounded binary. Names sometimes used for the easiest and shortest sonatas is sonatina. Sonata form is the development is the minimal section. The development is the unstable part where it goes through modulations. It goes through things like that, and that's what we do. So scherzo is the word of joke. That it also, the most famous composer is Haydn, and Haydn has written a lot of his symphonies or something like that had this joke form to it. So, which composition by Beethoven's example of the Symphony Cantata? So the composition is called Triple Concerto. The blanket sonata forms a return to the main thing. So okay, so we talk about sonata, we talk about the fact that it's exposition first, which you have the main idea, you have the repetition, fabrication and repetition and things. And the fact is, for the development, we have to, that's when your modulations start to happen. You start to shift away from the home key, it becomes unstable. So the exposition, the recapitulation brings everything back to the home key. Which sense of composition is commissioned in 1785 by a group of artistically enlightened amateurs belonging to a society known as the London Olympic. So the fact is, a series of compositions in Paris symphonies, so that's what we do. A piece in which genre often composed in an excitation and would be performed by young women. So the excitation of the women has to be a sonata. Three of Haydn's early symphonies, number 6 through 8, uses a special orchestral song of Cantata. Classical music shares many of the same qualities as neoclassical architecture: simplicity, balance, and harmonious proportion, as well as the absence of ornate decoration. True. This individual is one of Beethoven's most successful students. This is called Clarency. For which instrument did Beethoven compose his bagatelles? So we talk about the bagatelles, we talk about how it's been composed for mostly piano. Which section of the orchestra experienced the most significant expansion of color during the classical period? So we talk about the Baroque period being the fact the violins had come to power, but in the classical period you start having this a little more diversity and having the winds that are going to power. So instrument music over expresses a non-musical idea. Okay. non-musical and music, it has to be programmatic music or program music for short. In ensemble note, harmony generally plays this genre of music. The certain genre has to be divertimento. The first main section is called the exposition. Just answer that one. Beethoven gave his title suggesting it was an emotional and deeply felt composition. Okay, so when he gave this emotional, it has to be a Pathetique, Opus number 13. Wait, not sonata. Wait. No, I was right. Pathetique, I meant. Okay, I was right. Okay. Alright, so the genre of composition occupied Beethoven's attention at the mute of the Ninth. Okay, so when the Ninth Symphony he had string quartets. Haydn composed the first movement of string quartets as the bird in. Okay, it's not sonata form, so I'm going to say it's false. Beethoven composed 41. Oh no, not Beethoven, it's false. Which composition did Beethoven write especially for his student and patron, Archduke? Oh, Mrs. Solanus. Mrs. Solanus is for the Archduke. Then Haydn's Farewell Symphony is an example of. Okay, the Farewell of Haydn has a strong André style. Blank is the form found in the finale of symphonies and concertos in the 18th and 19th centuries that merged the elements of sonata and rondo form. So the form has to be what we talked about. The form has to be the sonata rondo form. The pair of movements, each one constructed around a binary, is like these. Okay, so the minuet in sonata form emerged from what other musical form? So, what other musical form is rounded binary? The third movement of Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 1, Opus 15, uses sonata and rondo form. Serious musical culture of Vinodata, London existed in the city's music concert hall. False. The Haugesund Testament is just the following. All of them. How are Haydn's string quartets different from the Baroque trio sonatas? So the Baroque trio sonatas is the fact is all of them. The Catavina of string quartet is the Catavina of is divided among the four instruments. So that one is okay, that's true. Well, alright, so it's not the most okay. It's expansion, I know that one's true. Okay, so this one did not have the simplified ones. Okay, so Haydn's keyboard sonata was elegant. Okay, that's false. Okay, we get into the one that talks about the tail. The tail in the word coda, we call whatever that's going to be. Simple coda. That all of Beethoven's symphonies were composed of the middle period with the exception of the middle of the period. Beethoven is 1 and 9. Lorenzo da Ponte divided the battles of each composition each of the operas below, with the exception of Die Silberla. The fact is, the German name for 18th century wind band is called Harmonie. Hoboken, okay, so Hoboken is in Haydn. It's sort of like the chronological for chronological order, where it's supposed to be chronological. In which era does Figaro vow to make the Count bend his wishes rather than allow the aristocrat to rest. Okay, it says Saint Viola, which is that one. The special orchestral style concerto was the like approach use of an orchestra where individual instruments regularly emerge from the orchestral texture function as soloists. So the fact is the concerto is concertati. The Storm Stress, it has to be strung under is for Storm Stress. The lyric genre is the composition for fine the ribbon. The bagatelle uses a composition, typically for piano, a light character. Okay, so it is for piano, so I'm going to say that much. Which selection of the notes in the figure is a sample of the. Okay, that's called boisterous dunk. Well, okay, so the fast-moving virtuosity part of the aria or duet, found in the 19th. Okay, that's Calbetta. Wood even participated in the connovation of Congress of Vienna in September 1814. So the advocation of Bonaparte in the defeat of him. The opera role that is sung by a woman that is dressed like a man is okay. We talked about this, and I believe it's Trouser. While composing his own Fidelio, Beethoven was really influenced by Rossini's Barber of Seville, Faust. The blank of this classical period is most soloists that emerged from the orchestral during the symphony in contrast to the full orchestra. So the classical is Symphony Concertante, who requested that Beethoven compose string quartets and allow him to name his feet. So Prince Nicholas Goslin is Russian Amara. Many Beethoven's early compositions have not given opus numbers. What is the modern catalog designation for the work? WOL. To the citizens of Vienna, the term academy meant concert for during the Napoleonic era. The energetic finish, the operatic act, is sung by a vocal ensemble rather than a soloist is called the ensemble finale. The baritone is violed together with strict strings is true. The Viennese is a historian term that composed Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, all working on Vienna, and I know that's the true. The part kind of from those are the various. Oh, it's not. The Divertimento is originally a musical diversion, came to a lighter style of 5-movement format: fast, minuet, trio, slow, minuet, trio, fast. Its use of serenade is true. The Fantasia is imaginative. Oh, I know the Fantasia is imaginative composition, so I'm going to answer that true. The blank Helga style Testament. What is the prize that gave 94? Okay, well, Haydn's Symphony. Haydn's Symphony is a joke start with down 2, which number 94 makes it unique because of the fact that you can imagine a sleeping audience listening to this. The symphony by Haydn. Oh, it's so pretty. But it gets to the point in the second movement that boom, it wakes him up. So it makes it more fortissimo. But waking him up. Was by Haydn to write oratorio The Creation. So The Creation was written by attending performers of Handel's oratorios in London. But Biographs in Moral Beloved is significant because it forms the emotional background of the creativity. Some James suggests the mode that sought to bind the stun and overcome with emotion. Melodrama. The melodrama is a musical drama with spoken text that accompanied by alternates with instrumental music. What is the importance of the Pathetique Sonata in number 13? So the Pathetique has been the greater continuity that Beethoven provided during the integration of parts. Gavin knew he was going deaf at that time, so that was why he wrote that. Concertati is the path that's a concerto where individual instruments emerges. All the following circumstances that has finished prior to it has to do with the Industrial Revolution. And how okay, so Scherzo is It's a dance meter that is more stately. The day of Mass is called the Dies Irae, which is a sequence that most start in his requiem. Most of that sets out as the scenes by the comically the comedy rescue of the Turkish Harlem. I'm gonna see what I did. I got 99 on a practice run. That's right. I got one wrong. Wanna see? That's right. Just one.